And we're recording. Yeehaw. Okay. So when we last left you, fantastic group of people, you had just returned home to Oxcross from your awesome first outing. That would be G, the ex forged fluffer, Riza, the ex milkmaid, and Rus, who knows what. Anyway, you decided in the interim, having talked it over, that perhaps moving towards a more centralized area might provide more opportunity than chasing a few vagrant goblins around the place. So you're going to set off, and we'll go to see where we get to tonight. So tonight, I just want to remind you, this is all sandbox, so I have got random charts up the wahoo. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yep, that's cool. Does G know, have we talked about our general plan with G, or?
I don't know.
Alright, well, yeah, in the interim, I guess, on the way back to Oxcross, etc., we talked to G about basically, well, the fact that first of all we didn't really have a plan when we left Oxcross to begin with to actually taking on the goblins. I mean, all of us sort of want to try and make, I guess, find a way to earn a living that's within our means, and I mean, possibly likely, well, hopefully likely not to get us killed immediately. And we were wondering if maybe G, Riza, and Rus wanted to strike off to a larger city, Seaforth, and instead of just going to the jobs board and just picking a job, we were thinking of maybe finding a stable place to stay, and then pinning something to the ad board to the effect of, you know, we do odd jobs, and we will, you know, we'll take care of problems for a price, basically. So that's what we've basically talked to G about, whether he wants to come with us. And
which town, sorry?
Seaforth, the closest large city where we can sort of set up shop and do odd jobs.
I can't swim.
You have to speak up, Lincoln.
You can't swim, I think was the...
Right, yeah. I can't swim. Can you hear me, or?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yep.
But apart from that, yeah, I'm happy for that.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
Do we get to kill goblins?
We likely get to kill goblins, yes.
I mean,
I would assume. At some point. Alrighty. Well, is Rus here? Where's Rus? I haven't heard the Russianness.
He's somewhere there.
Alright, he's lurking.
He'll be back in a sec. Hang on a sec.
he's currently drinking heavily.
He's currently sorting something out.
Currently changed gender.
Currently sorting something out for work, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, but I'm just making dinner and listening to the whole conversation.
Okay,
It's quite funny.
You make the decision.
Carry on.
See how that goes.
It's really good. You guys are great. Hang on, he's back here. William, are you ready? William. All right, he's back now.
Oh damn! We wanted to do something really nasty. Anyway,
I failed my job, but I give up.
okay. So, it's going to take you roughly now. You move at 6 miles, 12 miles a day, don't you?
Oh, are we on the next day already? Are we, or the same day?
Okay,
it's 5 days. You've walked back to Oxcross.
Oh, just so you know, on the first day, I thoroughly intended to release Lincoln Buddy from his charm and see what happens.
Okay, Lincoln. G is released from his charm. What do? You know that Rus did cast a spell on you, but that's about it at the moment.
Yep. I'll grab his throat. What did you do?
I guess Bill do. help you protect little girl.
I sort of sidle up to him at this point and put my hand on his shoulder and gently whisper, I think his intentions were innocent enough. I think he thought he was trying to protect me, even if he didn't really know what he was doing.
Choke him harder.
I'll just cough.
You do not control me.
It was hardly control.
I sidle a little bit closer, put my arm around him, and sort of gently stroke his cheek and ask him if he
Who?
would.
G or Roos?
No, G.
Okay.
G. And sort of in my most seductive tone whisper, surely you don't want to kill one of our only compatriots before we set off on this journey of ours. And hang on, being that we're a week back, we still got to. Then I whisper in his ear, we still got to sleep next to the warm forge together, did we not?
I try and break his nose.
Whose nose?
Bruce, the one that casts a spell.
Okay, how are you breaking his nose or trying to?
I just want to punch him in the nose.
So you don't want to obliterate his head. You just want
No. I just want to mess up his face.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that roll, you don't.
Eh.
Sure,
down
at
to
the moment, the inn or something.
But looking a bit lower, you see part of his robes get a little bit dark.
Ah.
If I could take the license for that.
Oh.
Sounds about right.
Never again. And I'll
No
release
worries, friend.
Right. So it takes you 5 days back. Are you, each night that you haven't cast your spell, doing anything, Bruce?
Yes, I'll be charging the wand.
Okay. So since you don't have any counters, any reason to use them, so there's only 1 day out, so you've got 4 more charges in your wand.
So I'll add that to my county majigger. So I take it we're walking back to town, yes?
Mm-hmm.
We've made it back.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
We've had the discussion with G along the way about our. We all had a discussion about our plans to strike off to a more populated city and set up a little odd jobs kind of scenario.
Sounds like a plan.
Also, I'm not sure whether Steve, you got an email from me about a little bit about the backstory of Reza, and you're happy with that?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Excellent.
Okay, so I believe you move at 6 miles as your slowest person, which means it will take you 4 days to get to Seaforth, past Ox Cross.
Yep.
So,
Sorry, just 1 sec, guys. I'll be just 1 minute.
just rolling for encounters as they go.
10 minutes, hon.
Ooh, not good. So you get a random encounter. I hope it's a nasty one.
Sorry, do I get to? And this is a little bit late, but are we like fast forwarding through days? And if so, do I just take the same spell I've been taking, or?
Up to you. So the first day out from Oxcross, what are you doing?
Oh, first day out from Oxcross. I am.
What spell are you taking for the day, basically first?
Oh, I'm just gonna leave it on charm person autopilot.
Okay, all good. And that goes through without an encounter.
If we're traveling through like uncharted territory, risk of
You're
being
travelling
attacked.
on a main road towards a main city.
Ah, well then, yes, I will charge my wand that night.
Okay. Where are we? Predominant. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. Rolling the dice and it's not looking good. Ah, is that all? Ugh. Okay.
For you,
The
not looking good for you. Great.
Yeah, the second day goes through without an issue. What are you doing when you set up for night?
Setting a watch.
Yeah, setting watches. What's the terrain like around the general
It's all
area?
general plains. It's a
Plains.
it's fairly sparse farmland, mostly settled.
Mhm.
Very little in the way of wild land at all. It's not heavily farmland, if you know what I mean. It's not not every piece of land is a farm.
Yep.
But it's quite relatively quite tamed land, if you like.
Yep. Are there crops around anywhere?
The odd crop.
Yeah. Oh, I would suggest that we basically just sort of go about 25, 30, 40 yards into one of the crops very quietly and carefully without trampling much of it, and then sort of just basically set up a little nest to sleep in. Don't really have a fire. What kind of weather is it?
It's all pretty fair weather at the moment.
Yeah, I say we just sleep without a fire, nestled in amongst one of the crops so that we're not on the road. But be careful not to trample it. I mean, that's my opinion, but up for suggestions.
It sounds like a plan, little girl.
Rightio. On the third day, you are nearing Seaforth. You are seeing, you're travelling. There's more little hamlets along the way. You basically don't. Are you going to stop early, or do you want to continue as far as you can go during the third day?
Why not sleep in little hamlet on the outskirts?
Without stopping, how close do we predict we would make it? Like, would we sort of get to the gates at night where they're unwilling to open them, but still get to the gates, sort of thing?
If you stop at a hamlet, it's going to take you an extra bit of a day to get to Seaforth. If you move your maximum distance, you should get there with hopefully enough time to get through the gates before night time.
We're not in any hurry.
Breeze sort of shrugs. As long as there's somewhere safe nearby, to the same sort of effect as we mentioned earlier, then yeah, might as well have a rest.
Okay.
Might as well have a rest, boys.
You
Town
meet up
does
with
have
several...
beer though.
No, it's a hamlet. Hamlets are a collection of a couple of buildings, a couple of houses, no real businesses as such. You meet with, as you're moving through, you meet with a couple of people there. One of the farmers says he's got a bit of a open-sided barn. Basically, it's a store with a roof. He's willing to let you sleep there, either for work or a bit of coin.
Jingle, jingle.
Okay. So, like about, I don't know, let's say 2 copper pieces each, he'd be happy with that.
Can you break a gold?
I flick in 1 silver and
Pardon?
leave it at that.
No.
Okay, so you realise you've gone from one silver, which is worth 10 copper.
There was 3 of us, right? So that would be 6 copper total.
Okay, rightio.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I've overpaid him a bit, but that's alright.
Okay, rightio. Well, so you're in there. What are you doing when it's time to go to sleep? So you're in this barn / stall thing is basically, it's about 4.5 feet tall, the walls. There's about a 2 to 3 inch gap on the floor. It's quite a solid post sort of structure. It's about 20 feet by 20 feet. Off to one side there's a couple of horses. You're sleeping on another side in the hay. So 4 foot of wall, then around about 3 foot of openness, and then the roof itself.
Reza still suggests we keep a watch throughout the night.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. I think we should set up a watch because you cannot trust little farm villagers.
If only you had a nuclear vessel. Okay.
Reza nods.
Yes.
Yep.
Nuclear weapon is, I think, how I'd say it.
Yeah. Okay. So, the standard shift was going to be, I believe, Roos, followed by G, followed by Reza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, Roos, you're on first watch. Are you going? What are you going to do with your spell and your wand thingy? Are you just as soon as it's your watch, or are you going to wait until you actually go to sleep?
Right, sorry. Yeah, sure.
Just wanting the answer is all cool.
I think you did, yeah,
Sorry,
sure, didn't you?
sorry. I'm trying to give instructions on how to cook dinner.
Okay.
Can
Usually you
can I,
apply heat. Usually.
Set kitchen ablaze. Yep.
can I ask question again?
Yes, you can ask the question again, or do you want me to ask you the question?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, good. What are you doing with your wand? Are you waiting until you actually go down to sleep, or when you start your watch? What are you doing with it?
I never trust little villages, so I'm not going to use the spell.
Okay, alrighty.
And, do we agree on setting a watch still?
Yeah.
So, partway through your watch, you're not quite sure. I need you to give me a d6 roll, please, Roos.
My pleasure.
Might not be.
Oh.
Just don't get a 1 or a 2. Oh.
Oh.
Okay. So, at some stage, you hear some movement, and you're not sure what it is, but it's unsettling the animals inside the barn / stable / whatever you want to call it. That you're in.
I will draw my wand and kick nearest person.
Who is that?
Who's sleeping nearest to me?
I don't know. Who is?
Come on, guys.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, roll a dice. Don't know who.
Odds, Reza, evens, G-Jog. There you go.
Alright.
Evens, G-Jog.
666. Lucky number.
Unless it's damage to you. Okay, or your saving throw, which would be a really bad number.
So even
Okay.
was whom?
Geok, I think they said. So
Yeah.
G, you kick G. G, you come awake. Something's just hit you. You're not quite sure what.
In a whisper, and I have to say that because I
Grab
don't
my
think
axe.
I can't do the accent in a whisper. So this is whispered.
Try.
All right. What's it? I can't. It does not compute, guys.
Okay.
Enemy approaches.
Okay.
Coming this way.
Okay. So what are you doing, G?
I'm still trying to pick. Is this supposed to be Russian or Mexican?
Yeah, it's changing. We've also had French at one stage. It's good. He's getting
Wait.
better at it.
It's amalgamation.
Practice, mate. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
But just when in doubt, it's the home of vodka, I believe in. So
There you go.
tequila is
So drink more.
nasty.
Yeah.
Drink more vodka.
Okay.
I am right now.
Rightio. G, what are you doing?
Grab my axe and shield, and I'll start putting on my. I don't know what I've got. Music.
Is anybody nudging Reza awake?
I don't know how the time is a factor in this or not. I mean, G's getting dressed, so I guess time is not a factor. I can't do it. I've lost it.
Scale.
Wait.
I'm not sure.
Oh, scale takes a while.
Okay,
Yeah,
in which case I won't bother.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I
sure you
shall
got time
pre-roll
to nudge.
You're gonna Gudrick daggers this.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm half orc.
He's got a shift on, so, you know. Okay, so what do you do, G? You're on the ground, what are you going to do? You wake up?
I shall roll over and wake up Risa.
Right.
Crouching down next to her head to shake her awake.
Alright, she sort of
Violently.
startles awake and grabs you by the wrist and...
No, you wouldn't. But anyway, luckily it's dark, so you can't see what's staring at you right now.
Alright, what's going on? She notices the subtle grasp of the half-orc that she's
Right.
known.
Subtle, real subtle.
Yeah.
I've mistaken your shoulder, have I?
Perhaps. She knows his rough hands.
Right.
She knows it's him, and she says, sort of whispers, "What's going on?"
Possible danger.
Okay.
Possible danger, eh?
I look towards Rus.
Oh god.
Remember, he can't
Why
see
are we
in the
awake?
dark. You're the only one that can see.
Why are we awake?
Have a look outside.
Wait, sorry. Horses are spooked, he whispers.
Cool. Listen, at the door, is there any windows or shutters?
All around. All around there's
if you
3
listen
foot.
if you listen to the description, the top 3 feet of this is open to the air. You have 4.5 feet of wall, 3 feet of nothing, and then the roof.
Ah, okay, cool. Peek over the side.
Okay, just let me do the listening roll first. You don't hear a thing. You peek over the side. At the edge of your periphery, you can see some sort of shapes.
Oh shit, start shooting.
There's perhaps half a dozen, you're not quite sure. You're guessing dogs or something like that? Perhaps some wild dogs?
What do you see there, G?
Puppies.
Love it.
I think they're puppies.
Right.
Little puppies, go back to sleep.
Okay, the horses
Hold
lick
on,
us some
my
more
hands
and
up
move
about the
about a
heights.
little
Puppies.
So the puppies are scaring the horses now.
bit. Great, so Reza's
I
finally
can't
become
see.
Irish. Okay, great.
Yeah. I don't think that's likely.
Think of the wee turtles.
Mhm.
What are you doing, guys?
was inspired. Anyway, gee,
Keep an eye out
have a
front
look
now.
and make sure they're little puppies.
She's putting on her leather and grabbing her daggers
You can
and grabbing
sleep
her
in leather
bow.
armor. That's
Leather arm's quick, right?
leather armor and padded armor you can sleep in, and no armor. obviously.
Okay, she'd be sleeping in her leather armor. She'd grab her bow and arrows and knock one, and she'd have her daggers on her.
Mhm.
Gee,
have
go and have
dogs.
a look at the little puppies.
What are you doing, guys? So far you're sitting there talking.
Wait, has
Uh,
G heard me?
I wanted to count how many puppies there
As
were.
I said, you think there's roughly half a dozen.
The farmer didn't have that many.
No,
So-
he didn't have, no. He didn't have any dogs.
Go have a look. I mean, go have a look.
I'll show you the puppies.
We want to bring. Yeah.
Is there a rock nearby me or something like that, or a
No,
stick?
this is a stable, not a Freemasons. Not the
I'll
Masons.
load a sling and aim to miss one of the dogs, Steve. Just land near it.
Does he have to roll to miss? And if he misses, does he hit?
Roll your dice to see roughly where you go. Alright,
Hey!
you missed alright, but you missed way far where you were aiming for.
Do the dogs react?
No.
Try again.
I'll try and scone one of them.
Mhm.
Jesus, They might be little villagers, little puppies.
In which case, they'll run away.
What's your
Oh,
dexterity?
don't be like that. Come and bust your head in, bitch.
Not high enough for a bonus. 11.
Okay. So it would be at a minus. Yeah. No, that's a miss.
I think you should go have a look.
I don't even know what accent that is right now. I'm trying my best, guys.
Pass me a nuclear vessel.
Point them out
Fine.
to me, Z. G.
I-
Where can we see any rough outline of them if G points them out to us? Can we see anything at all?
It happens to be a dark night.
Alrighty.
Your vision
Oh,
is effective
actually-
out to about 10 feet.
May I
beyond
ask a
20
question
feet,
about my
you've
wand?
got virtually hardly anything. Sorry?
May I ask a question about my wand?
Yes.
It shoots some kind of magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that magic produce any light whatsoever?
A very tiny dart of magic light, but you must know the target you're going for.
So I can't just shoot it at the night guy?
Nope.
And wizards in this version of the game don't have any ability to like do any weird little parlor tricks, do they?
Nope, they don't have cantrips in this game.
But could he shoot it? Could he shoot it in the general direction that G is pointing? Like, could he just aim for the ground around that area, or does it need an actual literal target?
If he can see it, he can hit it. If he can see a speck of dust, he can hit the dust. But he can't see anything.
Okay.
It's going back to that original joke. I shoot my magic missile at the dark.
Yeah, I attack the darkness.
Yeah, it's not a possible thing.
And all I can say from the cheat sheet is, "Where are the Cheetos? I'm gonna have a Mountain Dew. Are there any girls there?"
Alright.
At this time, I think G should go and have a look and see if they're little puppies.
Big fat women.
I shall stand up and attempt to hit one of them. Oi!
Wait, did
And
someone
swing.
from out there say something to us? Or is that just me
No.
imagining? No, okay.
So, G, you
Oh,
go
crap.
oi, and you are
And
trying to
swings.
hit in the general area. Away you go. You manage to, roll 3d6
Ah.
and get your dexterity or less.
Yeah, that's 5 over.
Excellent. You managed
Oh
to...
wait, sorry, 2 over.
2 over, okay. That's less embarrassing, but still. You managed to miss time letting go of the sling.
Oh god.
On a 1d4, if I roll a 1, you've hit Risa.
Oh god.
If I roll a 2, you've hit Roos. A 3, you've hit yourself, and 4, you've hit one of the horses.
Oh god.
Jesus.
Thanks.
I
But
think I am dead.
No, not yet. Make it to hit roll. It's going in the wrong direction. Okay, what's your armor class?
I'm wearing a robe.
Bruce.
That's it.
Well, that's
No
a hit.
dex.
Damage, 1d4 plus any strength bonus.
1d4 for a sling? I thought it was 1d3.
I have sling bullets anyway.
Bullets are 1d4s usually. But have a look, check.
I
I'm
am
pretty sure.
down.
Jeez.
Poof. Okay, you don't hear much noise from Rus except a low groaning.
At this point, by the way,
I gently try poke him in eye with wand and talk shit.
Are you okay? What happened?
I attempt to poke him in the eye with a wand. That was a serious thing. Just not. I'm not trying to take his eye out. I'm trying to do like kids do.
Uh-huh.
Not happy because I am literally almost dead.
Radio, make it a hit roll.
You're poking him in the eye. Oh god.
It's going to be near impossible. He's got to get a 20, but who knows?
Yeah.
No, you're miles off.
No.
You probably end up scratching his arm or something.
Is there any torchlight in the tavern or any torches?
You're not in a tavern. You're in an
No,
open
sorry,
barn.
not the tavern. The stable. Sorry, stable barn.
No, they wouldn't have torch lights over by hay with animals.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So we've got no light with us at all.
No.
I'm
virtually-
sorry. I'm sorry to say, but at this point, I am literally on death row. So I'm going to be moving from my current position to as far away as I can from G behind him in the same barn.
Right.
Oh, you think that's gonna save you?
Total
Rightio.
cover.
Oh, what the?
Did my shouts attract their attention though?
How do you tell?
I can sort of see maybe.
Okay, so you go and have a look over the side. You need to tell me that before I can actually give
no.
you any info.
Steve, I stood.
Yeah.
Sorry, I stood up. Sorry, I was staying standing.
Yeah. So what do you do? Sorry, you.
I stood up, went to throw a sling at them, and hit
Yep.
Bruce.
Okay.
So I'll still be keeping my eye on them.
Okay. Rightio. You yelled and you've been looking for something to throw your sling at, and you can't sort of see anything now because you've only got 60 feet infravision. So you really can't make, and you sort of don't have any like light black backdrop to actually see any silhouettes even around here at the moment. So you're not seeing anything. You've tried hearing, you can't hear anything.
I'll just keep a watch out for about 10 minutes or so,
Okay.
and then go back to sleep. Whose watch was it?
Bruce?
Roos, I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should maybe let Roos rest.
I think we need to have serious conversation after you nearly kill me. After you then choke me because a little spill.
Karma?
Yeah. Yeah. Done. Sold.
Karma's such a slut.
Wait. Karma for whom?
Moving on. In the morning, you basically go through the rest of your shifts.
Do I get any health back for overnight or not?
You took some damage, so technically no. You're involved in the combat.
Ugh.
Even if it was friendly fire.
Oh, or not so friendly fire.
No. So you're looking particularly crook. You have a huge, let's say, luckily he didn't destroy your chances to have children, but you have a huge welt and bulge on the inside of your right leg, very close to the important bits. And well, 75% of your hit points. That's a pretty big blow.
Ooh, that looks painful. Ooh, my sling bullet.
So as you're sort of getting up and getting ready, the farmer comes out and asks you, did you, he's been up for a wee while, he asks you your old question, did you hear anything in the night?
Yes!
I say very grumpily.
And what was it?
Little puppies!
So you knew someone was out there, but you didn't come in to tell me.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, did you pay me to come in and tell you of every little thing?
Just the fact that there were some wolves around the place and they've taken out half the stock.
Well, did you ask if we could get rid of little wolves?
You got to sleep somewhere nice and comfortable and warm. I thought you at least would have blimmin' thought about it.
It was not free! You are not a charity! You
No, I'm
want
not.
assistance?
Thanks
You
for
must
reminding
pay!
me.
You must pay for assistance.
Yeah, we would have liked to have been warned that there was possibly wolves about as well.
Not usual, he says.
Yeah, you could have told us first.
He says, how come you're speaking with a straight... No. Anyway. He says,
Hey,
"They
I gotta
don't
work
usually
on
come
it
here."
a step at a time. A step at a time.
Right,
Female
so-
plus Irish.
Right. Okay. Well, with that, he just opens the door and ushers you forth.
So it's daylight now, obviously.
Yep. Morning.
Help Rushkov to his feet.
Mm-hmm.
also mentioned to the farmer that we had some internal issues we had to deal with our friend here. He broke out in a vicious injury throughout the night. We had to deal with that, so we didn't really have time to rush in and tell you of the puppies.
Why did you apologize to this little man? He says hysterically. You want our
I think you better
services,
take
you
your friend
pay.
before I decide I need to change the hay.
Well, I don't get it.
He
Sorry.
starts moving over to the pitchfork.
Okay.
Oh, never trust
usher along.
villagers.
Thank him profusely for his hospitality.
Spit to my side.
He sort of
Give him a wink.
nods to you, gives a leery look at the big half orc, and gives a particularly distasteful look at the limping other person.
Inbred villagers. Anyways.
He says, I'm not the one with the funny accent. Anyway, you guys move on down the road. Halfway down the day, you start to encounter more little hamlets, much more frequently, like every 20-30 minutes, so after lunch. You're getting a lot more road traffic. The day is wearing on. It's a fairly dry, warm day. It reaches the height around about 3 o'clock in the afternoonish, around about there. Well, you don't know it's 3 o'clock, but around about that time, where you can stop and pump some water from a well by the side of the road, which is all good and well. People seem to be quite friendly, not particularly interested, but quite friendly. Would be the best way to describe them. As you hobble down, you might get the odd question about what happened, or that sort of stuff. But apart from that, your day is pretty quiet. It's around about 6 bells, because you hear as you approach the city, and you're going to be approaching. I'll take you over in a second. But you're approaching from the what happens is the road leads roughly to the edge of the coast almost, and then it's a sharp turn north and south. So you're sort of coming into the township, the city, from the south. So I'll move us over. I don't know if I've got... No, I didn't bring the picture along. Great. Okay, but I'll take you over there anyway. So what you can see is the... hopefully you're all there. Is over here is the South Road, and you're sort of following it up this way, along here. It's set up on a rise. This is only the east side. There is, I'll show you the picture of the place in a bit. But
wait, so north, like the top of the map, is that true east?
Yep, east. So to go north, you'd be going that direction.
Alright, and just an out-of-game question. Is it possible in Roll20 to rotate the image? Because that's going to trip me up forever.
It just won't fit well the other way. And everything's written that way.
Hang on.
How you're going to be focused. This is the areas you're going to be focused most on.
I'll just turn my laptop sideways, all good.
Won't matter. You just got to remember, that is east, that is north.
There we go.
I'll send you a compass pictograph you can add to maps.
We don't need one. I've got tons
Done.
of them. This is,
I believe that was Lincoln.
No, Andy. Okay, so
Andy.
You come in through the towards the southern gate. So you can see sort of here where it turns off and heads off to the coast. But you miss that and you carry on. So in all this area here, you sort of see this would be roughly where any sort of visiting caravans would be. So there's the odd caravan, or there's bits and pieces left over from a large caravan that's moved through the area, but they are way up the road, so they're none of your concern really. As you come up to the gate, you can see 4 guards, 2 each side. The gatehouse itself, the opening of the gate is around about 20 foot tall, round about would be close to 20 foot wide, so you could fit quite a big caravan through the gate itself. The road narrows at this point, and because the doors are open you can see that it widens again, so obviously it's designed to make passage through the wall quite difficult here. A place of interest is this place here. It's an incredibly tall tower. It stands around about 150 feet taller than the wall. So
was that the very northeast thing you mentioned?
Southeast.
Yeah.
Southeast.
This incline here, from the plane you're standing on to the top here, would be around about a movement of about 250 feet at the tallest. The walls themselves, they stand around about 30 feet tall. Then you've got this tower, which is another 150 feet on top of that.
180. Yeah.
So it's very tall. It's got a commanding sort of view of the area. As you can see, sort of the middle of the town, it sort of slumps in the middle, so to speak, because the two rises. Well, the one that you can see is like that, and then it's got the other one on the other side. You only see a little bit of it down here. So this sort of area in here is sort of like a flat sort of little valley sort of area. So you get to the gate. There's some guards there. Let's say, welcome to the city of Seaforth. What would be your business?
Hello, friend. We're here seeking opportunities of employment.
Ah, okay, right. So, just so you keep yourself safe, I'm just going to give you any rattles off a couple of the rules. They are usual fare. If you steal and it's your first offence, you lose a hand. If you steal and it's your second offence, usually you'll be imprisoned. If you kill somebody, you're going to be hung. He goes through a few infractions, general stuff that you'd expect of a law-abiding place. He asks if any of you practice any magic.
I practice a little, but I'm not very good.
Okay, well, unless you get a writ to say that you can practice in the walls of the city, you can't practice anything. My suggestion to you would be to go over to the seats of learning and see if someone is willing to be a patron and give you a writ so that you can ply your trade within the walls of the town. He turns to the half-orc and says, so, sir, what would your trade be? Half-orc? G?
I kill.
Oh, Jesus.
I hope you don't mean you kill wantonly anyone.
I kill monsters and uglies.
Well, there are some people in here that aren't that handsome, but that doesn't give you a right to kill. I'm assuming you're a sword for hire.
Yes. Do you have a job?
Not me. So again, you're going to have to get a permit to apply for that job. He tells you where to go. So
he told me where to go too, by the way. Right?
Well, he says you look around in the seat of learning. So somewhere in here is what you've got to go and do. So he tells you that what you need to do is go to this building here. This big building here labelled number 9. And that's where you need to register, and that's when you pay the money, that's when you get permission then to apply your trade. He turns to you, Reza, and he says, so what's your job?
I need a license.
Well, I just do whatever.
Ah, he says.
I'm good at a few things.
Right. He says, so... Right.
I hold up my hands behind and do the circle with the finger thing.
Oh, God.
Circle, right. And he says, well, you might want to apply over in the Knight's Delight quarter. I don't know.
Where might that be then?
Ding.
Right. Could you perhaps point us in the direction of a tavern that we might find permanent
There's
lodgings?
so many all over the place. But first of all, we need to talk tax. As this is your first entry, I need to collect a tax. So the fact that you don't have any jobs. Also, I need to tell you that your weapons need to be peace knotted, and infringement will cost you money.
What's peace knotted?
How'd you peace knot an axe?
Rightio. So he gets it and he ties rope around it so that you can't get it out of its holster. Now it's peace knotted. Okay, so the
what about the
charge
wizard?
is 5 silver pieces. Well, you practice magic inside these walls without a writ, you're in trouble.
Alright, so I don't need a piece to piece to anything. I've got a staff, which I use to walk, presumably.
So
Alright,
5
cool.
silver pieces each to get into the city.
I've got us covered. Right. And I'll pay the 1 gold, 5 silver. Yeah.
Okay, well it says, welcome to Seathwolf. Please make sure that you're law-abiding citizens, because I would not have to come and bonk you on the head and drag you off to jail. It's not a pleasant place. Enjoy your stay, and I hope your stay is a profitable one. And he just motions to the other 3 guys to let you through.
What the hell? Sorry, 1 second.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
So
in this game we've got gold, right? I just realised my sheet's filled out a bit whack.
It's all the standard stuff.
Are we keeping Electrum, or are we skipping Electrum like before?
No, it's all whatever's in the book.
Alright, so gold, then Electrum, then silver, then copper.
What is that?
Copper, silver, gold, Electrum, platinum, I think it is.
Oh, really?
Electrum, gold, platinum.
It's Electrum,
yeah.
gold.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Wait, so is 1 gold, 10 Electrum, 10 silver?
No, Electrum is different to all the others. I think it's 2 Electrum or 5 or something. It's in the place handbook somewhere.
Oh, I'll just ignore Electrum. I don't have it. I don't have any.
Right. That's cool.
But okay, so 10 gold is still 5 silver then. I mean, 1 gold is 10 silver. Sorry.
1 gold is 10
Yeah.
silver.
All right, sweet. No worries. Sounds
okay,
good.
so you make it through. You can see immediately to your right. There are some areas that are set off for people. They tend to have guards in the same livery, sort of moving around in general. And they seem to be stationed all up along this sort of area here. You can sort of see a little tent city sort of thing inside the walls. Doesn't seem to be the most permanent sort of place. As you walk through, you can see lots of people doing about their business and all sorts of things. There's carts and there's carriages, and there's people moving forward and backwards. There's just a range of people, a range of different races. You see half-orcs, you see dwarves, elves, half-elves, all that sort of stuff. And people just seem to be generally moving about. Some people seem to would look like they're finished for the day, going home. Some people look like they're about to start the night's fun. And other people seem to be just in the middle of their business or whatever they do at this sort of time at night. There's one person that does stand out to you, mainly because he's about 6'10" or so, and extremely thin. He wears chainmail, but under that he's got robes and he's got a tabard on, which I forgot to tell you about. And the tabard is basically an ankh sort of shape in gold on a black background. I need the 3 of you to give me a 3d6 roll and get under your intelligence. Any one of you 3, not Andy.
Oh.
Under? Yeah?
No, over.
Under.
Under? Okay, right. So, Reva, you identify this guy as Anne William. Yeah? Under? Cool?
Equal.
Equal, okay. Equal, under's cool. So the both of you will recognize this guy as a priest of Seeker. So Seeker is the god who protects you against undead. He's got quite a bit of a mission that he goes around actively looking for and destroying undead, or people who bring people back to life and all that sort of stuff, who bring back undead sort of thing. Yeah. So I mean, his idea of a great holiday is to go off and whack off a lich.
Interesting.
Interesting pastime.
Yeah.
So what's he doing? Is he standing on his own, or?
He seems to be interested, and he's caught sight of you, and he's moving over to you.
Okay.
Handing out flyers.
Hello, friend. Hello.
So hello. So I instantly hand the gentleman that said hello a flyer, and immediately go in with, hast thou seen anything strange in thy neighborhood? Anything weird that did not look good? Do you know who to call?
And the three of you sort of got these pieces of vellum paper or something
The
in your hand and like,
wheat farmer?
Is this Ghostbusters? I'm so...
Yes, it was Ghostbusters.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, we just got here.
Oh. Well, then allow me to introduce myself. I am Orist, a priest of Seeker. We hunt the undead, and sort of start on some spiel that's basically, thing. And that if you ever see one,
let's go kill some then.
Let it be known that we will happily take care of that problem.
Hello, Ulrich. We do not need of your services.
He's still limping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you sure? I have many great skills other than that of slaying the undead.
Well, if you can attend to my crotch area vigorously.
Now, by magic is referred to only as the.
As a priest, you have permission to do anything that does not harm anyone if they.
Okay, well then.
Oh, actually, also before he does that as well, maybe after he does it.
Also, friend, I am looking for a writ of permission to ply my trade in this glorious city.
Sadly, I do not have, the permission of the city to apply such a writ to a magic user. I thought
in your organization you might know someone in some place.
So I will probably, if I'm from Seaforth, aren't I?
You could be.
So I could only really direct him to the exact same place that he's already been,
directed to.
But I will cast Cure Light Wounds upon him.
Ah, okay. Mario?
That way I don't have to touch his crotch. Just have to touch him.
Right, 1d8.
Right, so we heal him for the whopping amount of 7.
Oh, sorry.
Can I keep the extra health, please?
No. But your swelling goes down, the bruising disappears, and what else can I say? Can't get any more.
Yeah.
Fantastic, friend. Have you ever considered joining another business opportunity?
Well, I don't care much for business, but like I say, I travel the land in search of, the unholy and seek to smite them. So,
what if you were to help innocent people, which may or may not have to do with undead?
Well, as I say, I tend to travel a lot.
Well, we're setting up shop here, and we're hoping to make a bit of coin doing it.
And helping people.
I was about to say, and pray tell, what sort of shop are you setting up?
We're going to do odd jobs.
To help people.
As my friend says, yes, to help people. Now I'm all ruining it.
Yeah, basically we're
let's
just stop right for a second.
Don't give up, friend.
We're going to be doing odd jobs to help people. Basically, we're going to put up a. We're going to find a place to stay. We're going to put up an advertisement on the jobs board for people to come to us for help with their issues.
Whether undead issues.
Potentially undead issues. I mean, if you'd like, we could add something to the flyer. Like something to do with we are particularly effective at dealing with the undead.
I was about to say, well, I already have a flyer up on one of the local boards for people to see, and as you can tell, I already hand out leaflets with regards to.
And how many business have you received
from your flyers? How many business have you received from your flyers?
I have had no no concrete, sort of issues with regards to, the possibility of undead near the city.
I think that you have a.
No solid leads.
I think you have a.
How do you say?
Public perception issue.
Yes.
Nobody likes crazy religious zealot.
Right. Yes, and your business idea sounds about as likely to get off the ground as an asbestos dog. As a paper dog catching an asbestos cat in hell.
What is asbestos?
It's a holy substance.
It's a holy substance used to poison wankers.
Job's being taken care of.
In saying that, I can also, by the way, other than point you to the various boards that you might attach your own thing to, offer the knowledge of a local boarding house, which would probably accommodate you better than a accommodate you better than a tavern would.
We appreciate your assistance.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my accent. I feel like I'm Pinky from Pinky and the Brain.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I don't know, Bane.
So, basically, if you were to head off to the inn quarter or the tavern and casino quarter, which is what you're probably thinking you should do, you'll find that the prices are going to be pretty prohibitively expensive for any duration
daily
of time. Yep. So the other areas that you might find a place in are Rat's Nest, Labyrinth, or Piss Stall.
Which one of them is more red light district?
Your new friend. Well, the red light district is Knight's Delight.
What's that?
Knight's Delights. There's no inn or anything like that to stay at. There's or hostel or anything. They are various establishments of the evening, not necessarily cat houses, but just a lot of different delights of the night from different cultures.
Please show us to this boarding house that may look after us.
Right.
Okay, so he's going to lead you down the street and up this one here through this fantastic. Okay, so he points out that this is the area where all people who want to use their swords as they apply their trade need to come here, fill out some paperwork, and pay for a license to be able to use their sword.
Wait, does G know how to read and write?
I believe you can read and write common. You need to look at the place handbook. Then there's this beautiful plaza. Yeah. There's a small park in there. Then there's a beautiful, huge cathedral church that is all the way to the blue bit here. Then leads you up through here. You notice at the corner of your eye, cemetery. You go along here. He's leading you up there. And finally you turn the corner and you sort of can smell the area before you sort of see it.
Yeah.
It has an interesting acrid smell, and basically he's led you to the area known as Piss Stall. Therein is a cheap lodging, if you want to call it that, house that the cleric has managed to find super cheap. He's talking like a silver piece. He's got the room for a whole month. Doesn't cover food, but he's got a room. You sort of go in and it's sort of like, oh god, You've been in some rural places. This place is like small, dark, several layers of paint and wallpaper are sort of peeling off. There's an old stool that's been repaired about 3 or 4 times. That looks like if you're going to sit on it, you'll probably break it, but there's a stool in the room. There's a small wobbly 3-legged table that used to have 4 legs.
Then you notice the club that's at my side.
Yep. This is sort of the likely thing you're going to be able to afford long term. Yes, you can go and find something much nicer, but your money is going to run out super quick.
What about the
nicety? No, we have no need of niceties, right?
Well, we need to be able to. Well, I'm going to stop the accent for a minute. Well, we need to be able to host customers. What about these other places you mentioned, the Labyrinth and Rat's Nest?
Is you paying for these nicer places?
Why choose to host customers here? You can get them to meet you at a more upmarket establishment like an actual tavern at that point.
True.
Finally, somebody talking some sense.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fair enough. Well, I mean, what reason does this cleric have to share his establishment with us at this point? I mean,
This is just where he's
This
just
is where I'm boarding at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What
fair enough.
reason do we have to turn noses up at good price?
I'm not turning my nose up.
You're a Russian Jewish Mexican wizard. Okay, yeah.
I am trying my best. Just call me European/South American.
What was I going to say? Sanchez Vladimir.
Yeah.
Vladimirich.
I'll admit, I've never done an accent for a character before, and I was pretty drunk last week when I made this character, and I'm really liking it, so I'm sticking with it, guys. Sticking with it.
Cool.
As long as it's not Squeaky the halfling with the high-pitched voice.
No.
The squeaky.
That may came later. So, the cleric has shown you a place where you can stay for a very cheap price. Of course, you've still got to work on money and a whole of food and a whole of other bits and pieces. But it's so pistol. You get to find out is it's not actually originally it started as a bit of a joke where you go to piss against the wall, but it's also where they have the tanneries, and that's where you get the smell from.
Yeah. All the cow urine that they rub the skins down with.
Yeah. So that's more the smell than anything else.
Did they literally used to use cow piss to rub down cow skin? This seems harsh.
Yep.
Just like they used to feed cows to cows, hence why mad cow disease came around.
Oh.
They used to take up the spinal and brain and grind it up with fertilizer and then throw it back out there.
From a brief historical, I like learning about history a little bit. My understanding was in general, cows were like, you're better off not killing them for leather and meat most of the time. And my understanding of modern day cows is that they're like the least efficient, what they eat into how much meat they produced animal there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, a cow in older times was more a milk producing sort of vehicle. And a term of
land,
wealth.
one cow, where it's now a small amount of land and many cow.
And then came the capitalists with you have 2 cows, you sell one and buy a bull.
Profit. Okay, so are you happy to go there, or do you want to stay somewhere else?
I'm happy if my compatriots are happy.
I can't do it. I'm just losing it. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, we just got here, lads. Why don't we at least have a look around for a minute?
What time at night is it?
It's fairly late.
By now you'd be getting close to something called 7 Bells.
Oh, does this tap house have like a bar? Because if
It's
so,
not tap house. It's just a place.
It's literally
the cleric's lodging.
Just a living quarter.
Yeah, it's a room to live in.
Sweet baby Jesus, I start to look panicked.
So is he saying there's other rooms similar to this nearby that we could also rent?
Yeah, in the same building.
Is that the basic gist? Yeah.
Yeah, so I can take them through Labyrinth and I can take them through...
Well, you can't really, because You'd explain to them they've got the name Labyrinth and Rat's Nest for a reason. Labyrinth, you can easily get lost in there. It's a lot more complex than what it looks like on the map. And the Rat's Nest is where...
I'm not gonna take them through it. I'm going to take them to it and then say, if you want to go in there, good luck.
Yeah. And the Rat's Nest is generally a place that attracts some very, very bad people.
Alrighty. Well, I mean,
Peace Wall is where we should set up a home base.
that's fair enough, but I'm still sort of taking in the whole, taking in all the information about Labyrinth and Rat's Nest.
Okay.
The general area, just sort of getting an idea of the place. But yeah, I have no issues with finding somewhere at Pistol to take up lodgings.
Okay.
So, I mean, of the places there, I mean, I assume the cleric, whose name we haven't actually got yet. Did we get the...
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
What was it?
Try the word priest with an O instead of a P.
Oist.
Orist.
Alrighty. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys.
Right, so...
sorry about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is your first night. This has all been of like 10-15 minutes. He's shown you a place. It is getting dark. What you are noticing is that on this road there is a group of people that are going around and are lighting lanterns and then hanging them back up high. They sort of suspend the lanterns about 18-20 feet above the road, which illuminates quite nicely the area. Dimly, but it illuminates. So you're not totally blind, sort of thing. In this area along here where it's just a space, there's nothing on there, no tents or anything. You really haven't gone out and seen anything. You've just heard about and shown Pistol, and you've heard a bit about Labyrinth and the Rat's Nest, and a tiny bit about Night's Delight. That's it at the moment, and that's unless you're going to go hell for leather and go out that night and see what you can find.
Well, I was going to do my usual nightly walk past of the cemetery on my way to somewhere that's probably got
perhaps they could accompany you just in case.
An undead hunter with no undead is very sad.
I do this as a ritual thing, sort of thing. Just do a walk of the perimeter of the cemetery, check inside, make sure that nothing is, climbing out of its grave and needs to be bopped on the head, and then I will migrate my way off to wherever the sort of a cheap establishment is for getting dinner.
Okay, well, in that case, you might go to the marketplace, which is over this area. This is a good sort of cheap poorman. It's labourers district. You've got Temple Row, where your temple would be. There'd be a temple to your god there somewhere.
Yeah, so basically we'll do the long wander past the cemetery thing, back through the square and along the main road.
Down there somewhere.
Yep. Point out the various temples if any of them want to express that they are religious, and I can guide them to their
so
deities. And then we can eat at the market. I can show them the foreign quarter on the way home if that's the case, and show, is it research express the interest in Night's Delight?
Potentially.
Okay,
so we can just do a little bit of a round mark around.
We'll leave it there. I'll just give you a very, very quick description to the cemetery. So as you move there, the thing you'll be told, well, the priest, the mausoleums are for the noble and rich people. The ossuary are for the slightly rich or well-to-do people, but not that sort of middle class sort of thing. And of course the cemetery is for everyone else. So you'll sort of meander around and go all around that sort of stuff. As you come along on this side, what you'll notice, is that there seems to be a much more greater intensity of other races, non-human races, of like half-orcs. You catch a couple of goblins walking by, there's some bugbears, there's a really weird mix of non-humans in that area, known as the Beast Warren.
Beast Warren, eh?
Yeah. So when you see these purple places, they're some sort of government, and these ones happen to be just a whole lot of barracks. And it's just funny that they all seem to be around here.
Right around the Beast Warren.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you sort of get to know that. Grey Wall is sort of people who aren't. So basically, the slums are basically the rat's nest in the labyrinth. Tinker's Corner is close to, but not quite. The next level up would be like Grey Wall. Trouble's Rest for more older people. Southview is sort of an intermediary zone. Then you sort of, once you skip across towards the ocean to Lilac Estate and the Green Common, you're starting to talk about people who have a more sort of lower end of middle class sort of people. And you sort of are going along this sort of low line here, these roads. So you've got lots of businesses to the left of you as you move along. Midtown is sort of an area that's a hodgepodge of businesses, some places to stay. There's the odd little theatre, there's the odd little restaurant, there's the odd little tavern, there's the odd little caravanassi, the odd little inn, but they're all sort of more sort of boutique-y style sort of place, gentrified area sort of thing. He goes past down this road up here. That's not working for me, but anyway, hang on, if I do it this way it might. Here we go, along here. To the right of you is a place called Angel Heights, and it's on a bit of a bump, so it does rise above a whole lot of other areas, and it's the only thing the priest sort of could tell you, and you don't just know much yourself, is that it's an interesting place full of mystery and weird things happen in Angel Heights. Yeah, and then you sort of start moving down. You get, so this here is the public baths. Then you've got this open space here, which is where some caravan, the most important or the most wealthy of the caravans, actually that's where they set up. And then this big block of buildings here is to serve the caravanassi who can set up there. So there's warehouses, there's meeting business houses, there's coffee shops, there's things of nature of there's money lenders and traders. There's some places where they exchange goods. It's things of that sort of nature. Then before you get into the market itself, you sort of, in front of you is the foreign quarter, where a lot of people who are attached to foreign people who come in, whether they be ambassadors or whether they come along in a caravanassi or whether they're just travellers looking for a better place, they tend to settle in there. So you get some very defined small cultural areas in there. Above that, Night's Delight, it's not all whorehouses, it's not all taverns, it's not all casinos, it's a mixture of places. And you never quite know what you're going to be walking into. The names of the places, the priest would probably tell you the names of the places don't actually indicate what actually they do there, and that's perhaps all he's ready to talk about. Then you get to the actual marketplace itself, and it's got a proper name. Just give me a second. And that is the oh great, I can't even read it. Looks like Dailin, D-A-I-L-L-N, D-A-I-L-O-N, Dailin Market. As I said, to the south is you can start seeing a whole lot of temples to various gods. Up this way is the labourers, so most of the labourers in the town sort of live there. But this marketplace with a small sort of park and that sort of stuff, there's open air theatre, there's bars, there's all sorts of things. It's quite a active, relatively safe, comfortable place to be in. There's lots of stalls, there's street food, there's people selling their wares and from little carts. It's punctuated by puppet shows or theatrical people, or people go around for a song, or there's some dancing. It's just a mix mash of all sorts of really interesting things. This market opens up every well, their equivalent of a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday night, and their Friday night being the biggest one. You happen to have hit the Monday night. I'll give the days proper names, but that's basically it. So it's the first market of the week, and you sort of guard your pockets, but because that's probably active in the area, but there's a lot of really cheap stuff you can get here. So for the cost of another silver piece, you'll probably feed yourself really well. You're not quite sure what you've eaten, but it's all tasty and it doesn't seem to be disagreeing with you. And you would have probably had at least a cup of ale or something of that nature to wash it down with. Yeah, so... And then you sort of walk back to Pistol. That would sort of be your introduction for that night. That's where we're going to have to leave it tonight, guys. So I'll just turn the recording off.